Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. I'm William Hyndman, your host, and this is Just Force 911, where we look at how our public officials do their job or they just really screw it up. Hey, guys, comes from us from Lackluster. Now, this is about a year old, but it has to do with what we've been talking about, how cops can break the law, they can perjure themselves on official paperwork, and nothing happens to them. They just walk away because they're qualified immunity. The boys in blue, the scumbag blue line, and it's just, it's terrible. Anyway, go over to Lackluster. Tell him I sent you over there. Check out his channel and hit his subscribe button, his like and share so you help his algorithms. Okay, now with that being said, guys, if you would please hit my subscribe button, help me get to 3,000. I'm almost there. I'm just not there yet. I thank those who have subscribed to my channel already. If you would, please hit the like and share because it helps my algorithms out. Thumbs up, thumbs down says how I do. And leave me a comment if you would, please. So this trooper has shown in the past that he cannot be trusted, but yet he's still in the force. What does it take to get these scumbags, cut loose to where, they're not on the force anymore doing damage? So let's check this out, shall we?
Welcome back to the Lackluster channel. In November of 2022, I published a story about Jimbo and his troubles with E31, a Mississippi trooper named Jason Young that chased down Jimbo for making a U-turn a great distance away from a checkpoint, allegedly suspecting him of DUI. Though a breath test showed all zeros, the trooper had Jimbo drive in front of him to return to the checkpoint and detained him for over an hour before impounding his truck and letting him go with a ticket for an unsafe lane change. But before fighting that ticket in court, Trooper Young was caught on his dash cam talking to another trooper about how he was going to find Jimbo, apparently to retaliate against him for posting the incident on a Facebook group he had created called Trooper Jason Young Watchdog Group, which at the time had just a few hundred members.
Go over here. I was like, and I had in my mind, I was like, I'm gonna see this motherfucker today because he posted something on his Facebook, and I saw that damn truck. It had one of those little bull bars in the front.
You ain't saw no damn Jimbo.
I swear, let me tell you, when I tell you I did. So I was facing.
Just after mentioning that he was looking for Jimbo, he happens to pass him, pulls him over, and issues him a second ticket. And as Jimbo drove away, he flipped off Trooper Young and was arrested for disorderly conduct and had his truck impounded for a second time. Throughout these two incidents, the Facebook watchdog group had become thousands strong, with members posting pictures of the trooper's location, and other recordings surfaced of the officer acting inappropriately during other traffic stops.
Apparently my truck smells like marijuana.
What?
This video.
Let's go ahead and get off the phone. Let's go ahead and get off the phone. Put your phone up there.
I got the right to record, sir.
Go ahead and get off your phone.
All right, we're gonna set it up, bro.
Before we continue, today's episode is sponsored by YouGov. YouGov is a free, easy way to make extra cash and gift cards to places like Amazon, Nike, and iTunes, just for sharing your thoughts. Citation for careless driving, and a disorderly conduct charge. But in a show of further retaliation, just before court, Trooper Young tried to increase the disorderly charge to a felony. The court didn't allow it, but at one point, the court offered to drop all the charges if Jimbo took down the Facebook group.
They're agreeing that it needs to be dismissed, right? But what they're wanting is, if they put their swords down, they want you to put your swords down. Meaning, like, Trooper Young's like, I stand by, I'm a good officer, or whatever, and he didn't take that website down. That's what the Facebook, the website, that's what, if you can take that down, then they won't proceed. That's what they're. I mean, they're not proceeding with charges. They're willing to drop the charges. Is what I'm saying. So they want to kick this out 6 months, assuming that the social media stuff goes down, and which what he would say,
It's not a witch hunt. This was the truth. It's people telling their stories. What's wrong with that?
Jimbo refused to allow the court to abridge his speech to protect the brutal ego of a state trooper, and eventually, after a long fight, all charges were dropped. But the story gets even worse from here. Today, the Watchdog group boasts nearly 17,000 members. One of the moderators is Jimbo's brother. Matthew had caught wind that Trooper Young was working off-duty as a security guard at an apartment complex and was using his taxpayer-funded vehicle to earn private wages, absent of any government interest or involvement with the Mississippi Highway State Patrol. Being that it's against the agency's policy and abuse and misuse of taxpayer funds, Matthew traveled to the apartments to get proof of the trooper using our tax dollars for his own personal gain. And almost immediately after arriving, he saw what appeared to be Trooper Young's cruiser, but the normal identifiers, a license plate that says E31 on it, was missing.
I think this is him right here, guys. E31. I could be wrong. How's it going? E31? E31? Oh, that's E31. Hey, have you seen Jimbo? It's E31, guys.
It's suspected that Trooper Young removed the E31 license plates while using the vehicle for personal enrichment so as to not be identified. But Matthew's questioning of the occupant,
How's it going? E31?
and the received reaction
E31?
showed that it was indeed Trooper Jason Young. As Matthew left the complex, the cruiser pulled out behind him, so Matthew pulled over and went live on Facebook to the Watchdog group.
Then he's gonna get out and follow me. He's gonna get out and follow me, trying to intimidate me. So I had to pull over, get out, make sure that I was safe. And he's turning back around. Look, he's turning back around. And he's coming back this way. Oh no, he's going back the other way. Look, he just wants to turn around. Look, he just wants to come and get me.
That video showed the trooper run a stop sign, and after the incident, to find out who had filmed him, Trooper Young used his police powers to access DMV information, though he wasn't on duty. A few days later, Trooper Young asked the apartment manager to file charges through the local police agency, and the Horn Lake Police Department dispatched an officer to the complex for a trespassing complaint. 3 days later, Trooper Young traveled to the department to give his statement. E31 swore under oath on a police report that Matthew had followed him on the highway until he turned into the apartments, but Matthew had never actually followed the trooper. His lies led to a charge of disturbing the peace, and when Matthew heard about it, he went to court to clear it up, and the judge told Matthew that if he agreed to a no-contact order, he would drop the charges. Matthew told the judge that he would record Trooper Young at any chance he could to show that he doesn't do the right thing.
I'd be willing to just dismiss this activity right now.
If I can have the chance to video him doing illegal stuff, I would.
He was then arrested, booked, and released with a no-contact order. However, the judge recused himself from the case the very next day, citing that the case revolved around the First Amendment, and that he hadn't touched on the First Amendment since law school.
I've read the concept, so judging on the First Amendment stuff that didn't talk about the bill back. I'm also
Matthew then obtained the security footage from the apartment complex. The video shows Trooper Young entering the apartment parking lot at 7:50 a.m. No vehicles followed. It then shows Matthew entering nearly 3 hours later, also alone. So now, with evidence of his innocence, the case finally went to trial in August of 2023, and the prosecutor refused to prosecute. Some speculate that the case was dropped because the evidence to show Matthew's innocence would also prove that Trooper Young had perjured himself on a sworn statement by claiming that Matthew followed him. But the most interesting twist of all is that the judge recognized that Trooper Jason Young had violated Matthew's civil rights during their interaction, and with the case dropped, the judge ordered Trooper Young to attend a class on constitutional rights due within 6 months. Trooper Young left the court as angry as you could imagine, and a few of the trooper's fellow officers told Matthew's father that they support what they're doing because Trooper Young makes them all look bad. Unfortunately, unless they report Trooper Young's actions, they're just as cowardly as all the other good cops that we're told exist. The next step is the lawsuit for both brothers, and as soon as I have info on it, I will be sure to let you know. If you'd like to join the Watchdog group, a link will be listed below. But even more importantly, now you have proof that if you start one, it is likely that people will support it. A big thanks to Jimbo and Matthew for their help with these stories, and for standing up for what we all believe is right. Let us all know what you think in the comments down below.
All right, guys, so you got a state trooper that does what he wants. Wow, that's unique. I've never seen that anywhere else. You know, he lies, he steals from the public, uses his own squad car to work on side jobs. You know, he's a piece of trash. That's simple. Anyway, guys, remember, if you would, take and send me a comment. Let me know what you guys think. Always record your police and what? Come on, people. And because they're not your friends. All right, buddies, guys. Thank you.